Hi, welcome to the Shelly Studio, and today is the last day of the hashtag event, pawgustart, and for this one I am doing a tag for the hashtag. I'll have to find me some more when I run out of these tags, but here I am just putting a gradation of blue, kind of giving us a sky background on this tag, and it's really hard to do this bottom part with it still being wet. There we go. Add a little water, make it a little easier to go over. And there we have our background. So here I am just measuring off kind of a ½ inch to create a border around the edges of my tag. Several years ago I was in Greece and we visited Mykonos for a day, and I thought it was so pretty. The whitewashed buildings and the blue domes, everything. I thought that would be fun to do. Plus in Mykonos anyway, there were a lot of cats. There are a lot of cats in Greece, and since I like cats, I thought, well, we can do Greece and we can do cats. So we are gonna attempt to recreate a little bit of Mykonos, or at least Greece. I'm not taking this image from a personal picture. This is one I googled. I didn't take the time to figure out where my pictures were. It was pre-digital, so they're not on my computer. So this is my Uniball Air pen, and I am just going to use it to create kind of a Greek key pattern around the border. I did Google this pattern and I saw a couple of different ones, but this one in particular I thought might be easiest to recreate on the border. So this is what we're doing. And I'm just freehanding it. I did measure the segments where I would drop the line, but otherwise it's a freehand. As you can see, some I do better than others. So I'm just trying to figure out how to do the bottom and the top. I think I mess up a little bit, but at least the bottom will be covered up so you won't see it. And so I copied the bottom when I did the top so it would look similar. Alright, and I decided it wasn't quite bold enough, so this is my Faber-Castell tip pen in gray, and it looks pretty black to me. It just makes it stand out a little bit better. It's a brush tip, so it's a little bit harder to control. I'm just barely running it across the tip of that. Alright, so I did a drawing on some deli paper and then traced it onto my tag, and now I'm just outlining it with a white pen because it's going to be painted in white. I figured I'd draw it out in white so you could see it and I could see it as we're painting along. Changed my mind on that line. That'll look much better this way. And we'll cover that up. So I think I was debating what I was going to do there, but I'd already drawn over it with the white. So, and this is eggshell white, so it's kind of an off-white color. I thought it would be white enough against the blue, but it is a little bit yellow. And this is an old angle brush that needs some loving care to get it back into shape because it's pretty old and full of paint. You can see why I stick my brush in way too far. It looks like I'm doing this fast, but I am going really slow, but it's still really sloppy. I don't know what distracted me there, but I stopped for a minute for some reason. There we go. Just giving it a second coat to try and cover up as much of that blue as possible. So now I decide I'm going to have to do the other edges in a different shade of white. So I add a little bit of white to that eggshell to make it whiter. And I'm going to do some of the other areas. So maybe the light's hitting it a little bit differently. I think for a while this is almost impossible to see the difference in the colors, but I do hope that along later on. We'll see. Here again, I'm just putting an extra coat of the white, trying to get that to show up really well next to the eggshell color. And this particular paint is a Liquitex soft body, and the other one was, I think it's Craft Smart, but it's just a craft paint, so it's a lot runnier. And this one's another one, and it's gray. I figured I needed another shade for this other plane on our buildings. So I decided I didn't really like that eggshell color too much, so I'm doing a gray-white color. over the top of it, making it even harder to tell the difference. There we go. And now I've got to do that blue dome, so I decided I had to do yet a different shade of blue so that we could see it against the blue sky. This one is also a Liquitex soft body, and it's called Brilliant Blue. And so here's where I'm getting some more shading in. I'm using my Neocolor 2 watercolor crayons, just the black one, to create some shading and give this a little bit more depth so we can see where the angles are. So I think that's helping us so you can see the structures on the buildings a little bit better. Alright, so then I went out and I got me a sticker set of cats and decided we were going to add some cats to this for our pawgustart. And yep, I've got a little helper there wanting to play with me. So I'm just cutting out the cats that I think would fit on our buildings. And I decided that one that's like falling out of the sky would be perfect for the sky. And they're great, they're clear so you don't have the white border. And I'm just sticking them on. As I'm sticking them on, I'm noticing you can really see the painting in the background. And I think I'm okay with it at the time. But I was checking. I decided later on that I really wanted to cover that up, so I'm trying really hard to carefully lift up these stickers. You can see it pulls the paint, so you gotta be careful. And just in the area that has the cat, trying careful not to do the clear edges, I'm just adding some white. Hopefully that will put enough behind the sticker so that we won't see the drawing behind. And he just looked a little kind of blue, so I figured I would paint him as well, just so that he would look more, his white areas would look white when we put him back on. given him some extra coat, so I want to make sure he looks nice and bright. And I debated on this one. I'm just gonna put some paint under that arm where it crosses that gray spot. Hopefully that will make that less noticeable. And then this cat I wasn't gonna do, but then I decided, why not? It'll look better if I can get it off safely without filling up any paint. Got a little spot, but look at that covered up. The first one was the worst, which took off a big chunk of paint. It's hard to let go of them because you stick to the edges. Okay, so now they're dry. I'm gonna just use Liquitex medium to glue them back on. And see, that one will pretty much cover up the paint that peeled off. See, I do think they stand out a little bit better. The background's not quite coming through them like it was before. Some of the watercolor crayon paint is coming off on my brush and turning it gray. And there we go! A few cats in Mykonos, Greece. I hope you liked that. If you did like it, please hit like. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe, and thanks for watching.